Hello everybody and welcome back to NCAA 2004 in the Alabama Crimson Tide Dynasty mode, continuing on with year number 16 as we are carrying a 19-game win streak into Fayetteville, Arkansas, against the Arkansas Razorbacks, who are ranked number 7. I think this has been a top 10 matchup, or close to, top 15 at least, all of the last 5 or 6 meetings, I think. There was a year, I think in year 9 or year 8, when Arkansas wasn't that good. They had a down year, and that was their worst season, just period, in this whole sim. And outside of that, they've been, a top 5 or top 10, top 15 team every time that we went to play them. So, however, in this rivalry, we are 12-3 all time against the Razorbacks. 12-3. The last time we lost against the Razorbacks was in year number 10. And the last couple of years have not really given a ton of hope if you're a Razorbacks fan, as we've kind of really handled the Razorbacks the last couple of seasons. We haven't had a close game with Arkansas since that triple overtime game in year 14 or not 14, year 12 or year 13, I think. So it's been kind of a big bloodbath one way or the other, really just in our favor. In the last handful of seasons, we've really kind of dominated this rivalry, and that's a big thing I don't talk about a lot too in the Sicknaven era, is that we've really been good against our rivals. We have great records against our rivals. The games that we lose, I think we've lost overall. We've lost a game or two to LSU. We've lost to Tennessee, a few times. We've lost to Arkansas a few times. But overall, our record just outweighs our wins, is 5 times more. So Arkansas's got a lot of the same pieces on this team that we remember from last season, but their quarterback situation is still kind of rough, which we will talk about a little bit later as we see a little bit more snaps from Arkansas's offense. But already Evan Jacobs is getting involved in this game, getting a nice completion to get us inside the red zone, as Garrett Handy again shows that he's got no issues moving this offense forward with a little bit of consistency. And that is exactly what I was talking about in our game against UCLA, that I was hoping that he would provide, because I think with that kind of consistency and tempo with the offense, we will be unstoppable. So, and Jermaine Moultrie is going to continue to put an accent, or not an accent, but an exclamation point onto that statement here as he runs right up the middle, right up the gut here, and gets into the end zone for the first Alabama touchdown of the game here. And we are already coming out very strong in Fayetteville against the Razorbacks defense. They really had no answer for some of our new-looking offensive pieces so far. But now Morgan Swift and the Razorbacks are going to try and answer back. And under pressure, and Swift fires this one off, and it's going to be caught, but it's going to be fumbled on the tackle. And again, it's going to get scooped up here. Now it's heading the other way here, inside the 20, inside the 10. It's going to be a scoop and score. So not only, and it's Bam Price with the scoop here, and he's going to get the score, and it was looking over the roster sheet again, and it was Lance Hunt who had the fumble here. He knocked out the football. So now back on offense again, and Ben Medley going to get that ball over the hands. Garrett Haney was able to just float that one over the hands of the linebacker and get that one to Ben Medley. So now things are just completely already going off the rails here for Arkansas, as we were off to a huge explosive start early on in this game in the first quarter, and Arkansas really struggling to just find their footing, on this grass here. A very, very tough start for the Razorbacks. It's already 14-0, and we are inside the red zone once again. Garrett Handy back to pass, drops way, way back. All day to throw. Goodness gracious, all day to throw. And Handy finally makes a choice in quadruple, quintuple coverage. Look at that. There's nothing but Razorbacks. And somehow that finds the hands of Chip Milligan. I have no idea how. We're going to need to see this again close up, because I have no idea how on earth this happened. Again, 45 seconds to make a decision to throw. Even pump fakes. I don't know why. There's no one in his face. But yeah, Chip Milligan somehow, look at that, dude. Is there a defensive lineman in coverage? I don't know. Arkansas had everybody on Chip Milligan. Didn't seem to matter. So 21-0 is now the score at the end of one quarter of play, and it's starting to look like another victory in favor of the Crimson Tide, but there is still plenty of time for Arkansas to do whatever they do. But we are back on offense once again as Moultrie on the pitch, nowhere to go, throws it back to Handy. Now Handy's going to run it himself and get a first down. So that play was completely dead to rights, and then it ends up turning into a first down from the quarterback with his feet. So here's some trickery. Here's Moultrie trying to evade the pressure. I have no idea how he was not tackled running with the football. I have no idea how, but hey, we'll take it. We'll happily take it as we are moving once again on offense with some tempo. But now 3rd and 7, Arkansas's defense is saying no more. But Handy back to pass here, floats it across the middle, and that pass is going to be intercepted right at the seam here. He tried to hit Jeff Dillard and just caught in stride. It was just intercepted perfectly by that Arkansas linebacker. He was able to just completely cut that one off. So not a great decision from Handy, but that is only his 3rd interception of the season. So we will happily take that. So 3rd and 4 now already for for Arkansas as Morgan Swift needs to figure something out here. He's going to float this one out deep downfield, and that pass is going to be caught. It's going to be caught by a familiar face here. Or actually, it's not a familiar face. It's Chris Pearson. I thought it was one of the more... I mean, he was here last season, but I don't think he was a big contributing piece. I think he was one of the receivers further down the roster. I was thinking of a different 85 on Arkansas. There's been a couple in our day, so there's been a couple. So 21-0 here, but Arkansas with a third down now in the red zone. Swift floats it to the end zone and finds an open target, and that pass is going to be completed. So Morgan Swift is an interesting prospect here for Arkansas, as Justin Rivera, who is the top returning offensive piece here for Arkansas. Well, I guess Morgan Swift would be. No, it's the running back, Jason Todd. That's what we got to talk about, really. That's what we got to talk about. But he's their top returning receiver. And he's got a touchdown here, but already the Crimson Tide are answering back with their own top receiver here as Chip Milligan continues his reign of terror in his senior season, toe dragging along the sidelines and getting a huge completion here late in the second quarter. Is now, there's still plenty of time still late in this quarter. Plenty of time to get some more points on the board. Handy back to pass once again. Floats it down the middle of the field, and that pass is caught by Chip Milligan once again. That's going to get us inside the 15. So we're not seeing a lot of Ben Medley. There you can see he's got a lot of yardage, so he's not nowhere, but we are seeing a lot of Chip Milligan so far in this season. And now it's going to be 3rd and inches. We're going to hand this one off to the fullback, and he's going to bounce his way in for his first touchdown of the season. Can you believe it, man? Freeman Frederick finally tapping in this year, gets his first touchdown against the Razorbacks, and that's going to extend it to a 20-point lead. Of course, pending the extra point, it'll become 21 points. And that is just in the first half. So Arkansas really in a tough way. Now we are back with the football late in the first half again. And again, it's another huge completion. This time it's going to be to Evan Jacobs again. So, man, we are just completely lighting up Arkansas, man. Just completely lighting up their secondary. So on 2nd and 12, you're moving the wrong direction. Just over 30 seconds left in the second quarter. And that pass is going to be caught well short. But again, it's Chip Milligan. And now we're going to try and run with the hurry up here because we want more points. Sick Nabin says, dude, take it to him. This is not a game we take the foot off the gas. We are absolutely going full force. As Handy takes the snap here, floats it to the end zone, and it's going to be Ben Medley for another touchdown, ladies and germs. And I think that's touchdown number 4, unless he already has one in this game, then it might be 5 or 6. Who knows? Just make up the numbers as you go. Why not? Who's going to know? No, I have the numbers written down. Okay, you got to trust me here. I got them written down. They're not always accurate, but I do have them written down. But that's another touchdown here as Garrett Handy and this receiving core just show there's zero flaws in their game. They're just finding every which way to continue moving the ball with some tempo. And now we're going to see if Morgan Swift and the Razorbacks offense can just do anything, really. Can just fight back and do much of anything. So Swift, again, I want to talk about, and I'll let Arkansas's drive play out as I talk about this. But Swift is an interesting piece here. It looks like Arkansas is kind of struggling with the same problems that we had with like Dre Gates and Ernest Slaughter, just having some turnover-prone, high-value prospects. And Morgan Swift is a good quarterback prospect. I think he's up to a 95 overall, but last season he only threw for just a little over 1,800 yards, and that is 16-10 touchdown INT ratio. That's awful. That's horrendous. Not to mention his completion percentage was like 52% last year, so he was terrible last year for Arkansas. But they had Jason Todd, their running back, who we haven't seen, or Jordan Todd, excuse me, who we haven't seen in this game really hardly at all. And he was completely Arkansas' saving grace with over 1,500 rushing yards and 15 touchdowns. He's got over 700 yards and 5 touchdowns in this season, in this game right now. So, heading into this game, I mean. So, you know, running the football has really been Arkansas's bread and butter as they haven't gotten a ton of help from their quarterback play from Morgan Swift. And if you guys remember in the video of this rivalry from last season, he turned the ball over like 4 times. He threw like 4 interceptions. Might have even had a fumble. I could be making that up. I don't know. He had a lot of turnovers. I remember that. He had a lot of turnovers. And that was just kind of what really spelled doom for the Razorbacks last season. And now in this game, he's not turning the ball over nearly as much, but you just saw the quarterback breakdown stat-wise, and he's really not done well in this game. So Morgan Swift just seems to find himself choking away these big games, and that might be what spells doom for Arkansas in these final few seasons of this series here, as they've just been unable to get over that hump in the last, always, this whole series. They've been unable to get past us in the Western Division, and even when they do, and we don't make it there, which I think has only happened maybe once or twice, just period. Someone in the East typically wins it. So Arkansas has never been able to just kind of get around that hump. So sorry, Razorback fans, but, I'm not doing what I can. They're doing what they can, and it's not enough. That's all I can say. It's not enough. So we finally get some rushing action from Arkansas's offense, but it's not going to be Jordan Todd. It's going to be Eli Maxwell, the fullback, who actually also has 4 touchdowns. So running the football is just Arkansas's thing. That's just what they do. But they're going to try and throw for it again. So Swift, back to pass here, running around in a collapsing pocket, finds an open receiver, who's got to come back for it, but he does make the catch, and it looks like he might have enough for the first down. It's Rivera once again here. And I think he might have enough. I think they're going to spot him. They're going to be a little generous with that spot and probably just give it to him, I would imagine. So Arkansas with another chance to add some points. But the third quarter is going to come to a close before we can see that fully fulfilled, as 38-14 is your score now in Fayetteville. But now it's going to be first and goal kicking off the fourth quarter, as we're going to see Arkansas try and claw their way back into it, and now Todd's finally going to get into the game here. He's going to get himself a touchdown, and that's going to be touchdown number 6, of course, for Todd on the year. So we'll probably see his rushing stats a little bit higher than what I've shown through the editing, but he really has not been all that effective. But here he is getting a 2-point conversion, so Arkansas trying to claw themselves back into this game any way they can. I appreciate their coach not having any quit in them, just not having any quit. Just saying, hey, dude, I know it's not looking great right now. We're down like 4 or 5 scores. Let's just try and keep in this game. Why not? Sure. But this might be the dagger in their hearts here, as Chip Milligan just continues, man. And Chip Milligan has just been causing issues for the secondary all game. There's been absolutely zero answer from Arkansas defense. It just hasn't been there. Chip Milligan has just done everything he's wanted to with every DB, every linebacker. There's been no kind of answer. If I'm an Arkansas fan, I'm losing my hair over 89 on the field right now, because there's just no way. There's no way. That would certainly bother me, but big ups to Chip Milligan. Gets himself a big win in this game here, 48-30. We would add another field goal, and Arkansas would add another 8 points. They'd score another touchdown, get another 2-point conversion, but the game was already 3 possessions out of control, and Arkansas would never really close that. The closest they got was 15 points when they scored that touchdown and made it 30-45, but that was the closest it ever got. They never had another chance again. It was too late in the game. A lot of garbage time points, so I decided, we'll just call it there. We'll call it there. We'll take our 13th victory over the Razorbacks. Now, we have posted a 13-3 record over Arkansas in our time here at Alabama. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? In 16 matchups against the Razorbacks, we've won 13 of them. So, and we've got one more. Let's hope we can make it 14. Why not? Make it a full NFL season's worth of victories over the Razorbacks. So, big game for us. Another top 10 victory. Well, I always overshadow that, man. This game is always like a top 5, top 10. I said at the beginning of the video, but the weight of what it means to win that game, that's one of the biggest things that helps us with the computers, beating Arkansas and having that win on our resume. That always seems to help out quite a lot. So Garrett Handy with another huge game here, 15 for 20 for over 400 yards, dude. He is having himself a year. Looks like we might have another 4,000 plus passing yards and 30 to 40 touchdowns type of season from our quarterback, and that's just when we win national titles, when we put up seasons like that. I think there's a direct correlation. I don't know. Someone check the numbers. I think there's a direct correlation. But heading back to the Hub World, South Carolina, man, home hosting the Volunteers. Tennessee, who's having a great upstart to the year here, 5-0, brilliant start, completely silences the Gamecocks. Completely silences the Gamecocks in Columbia and picks up a massive win. We pick up massive wins against Georgia, Troy, and Ole Miss. 76 points on the Rebels. Goodness gracious. But Tennessee continues to win, and they've climbed their way up to number 13 in the country. Maybe have an outside chance of getting into some national title conversation. Probably not. Who knows? But it's going to be a big game nonetheless, and we are on the road for most of our rivalry games this season, so we will be heading to Knoxville to play this game against the Volunteers, and of course it's going to be a big one that we're going to need everybody here, but it's another ranked matchup, good to have on the resume, but we need to win it. So can we take our 23-game win streak into Knoxville and get a big win? Hope to see you guys there when we play Tennessee.